How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. And I'm here amongst good friends and good people and good Texas beer.
Well, I just was announcing that I was in a room full of ladies and some characters. And,
That's not right.
Who told?
Who told you? That's kind of what I said, the same thing, you know, what you said.
You know it's going to be a good show when they bring their own koozies, you
I
know.
like it. And a cooler.
And a cooler.
They come with coolers on wheels, that's all right. But, so anyway, we're here having a live show today, and we got a room full of people. And we got Bernie Nelson.
Some people are more live than others.
That's true. That's very true. But anyway, Bernie, tell us how you got here to Fredericksburg.
2016 Ram Hemi. A lot of damn miles on it.
All right.
You know, I've always loved Fredericksburg. And, about 3 years ago, I started pointing my compass towards Texas. I'd been over in Ireland and Scotland and England, and of course had run a lot of time around in Nashville. 34 years next week. So, but I wanted to see if Texas would like me as much as I like Texas. So far we're batting 500.
There you go. You've done a lot of songs for a lot of people. Written a lot of songs.
You know, I didn't write them for them. They just ended up cutting them and stuff.
Right.
And I'm glad they did it. I wrote them for myself, but nobody wanted to hear me sing them. So. And you know, a lot of them just happened quirkily. I had a Pam Tillis cut that Mark Chestnut was going to cut, and Confederate Railroad wanted to cut it. And I was drinking one out with her manager, and I played it for him in my truck. And he just, as a joke, played it for Pam. She cut it the next day, and you know, we had a big old record on Pam Tillis. So who knows? You know.
That's awesome. I was looking at your list, and there's just too many of them to go through.
There can be more. I'm always open to more. I tell you. You know, I told a friend of mine that's here tonight, Catherine, who helped orchestrate a lot of this, that I sat in a bar in San Angelo last night, and I listened to a lot of songs that I was privy to, been around to, and sometimes I get down on myself because maybe I didn't dig in hard enough and stuff. I think that the 10 years at EMI that I wrote there, I think I wrote 700 songs, and in 2010 I wrote 287 songs. So I might have been slacking a little bit, but when you think you're on top of the world with a Conway Twitty record or something, you tend to pull back on the reins a little bit, when you really should just put your foot back in the stirrups and give it a good yank. So
Yeah, I can understand that.
yeah, I mean, hindsight's a beautiful thing. I mean, how come I didn't get on the George Strait record? And how come Garth never cut one of my songs and stuff? I still love him, but he's still on my bad sound list. So.
Speaking of sound, you got a song to play for?
Man, I don't know. I guess I was looking around and saw your picture up there, Mr. Jennings and Miss Coulter. And this song, I think this was my first single on Texas radio, so we'll try it. Well, Jesse Coulter met Waylon Jennings in 1969 at a nightclub out in Phoenix, Arizona. And they fell crazy in love with each other. Waylon Jennings died February 13, 2002, and they buried him out in Mesa, Arizona, not far from where they first met. And somewhere in between all this good stuff happened. Well, she met him one night in that coyote town. Knew no way in hell she'd ever settle him down. Cloudless tumbleweed blowing across that desert. Needed him more, never forget it. But he needed her love like love needs rain. But something inside that he couldn't explain. They had a love as big as Texas and Arkansas. Jesse and her outlaw. They of a kind, birds of a feather, but it didn't take long till they hit stormy weather. Said, you drive me to drink. She said, you just drive me crazy. Storms never last, do they, baby? She was a good-hearted woman, he was a good-timing man. They lived this world in a five-piece band. What they had was like nothing, and he wanted it in a song. Jesse and her outlaw. She sang, baby, well, I'm not Lisa, but I'm gonna stand by my rambling man. Now, I know the good Lord must have his reasons, but sometimes life don't work out like you planned. She said goodbye one day in that coyote town. Tears fell like rain as it laid them down. Haven't gained another angel, but we all lost Jesse and her outlaw. Jesse and her outlaw. Jesse and her outlaw.
Yeah.
You heard it on TABC radio.
That was great.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's-
I mean, I watched that video. If you've never seen True Love, watch the video of Storms Never Last. And I think Terry McMillan was playing harmonica. Of course, Mooney was playing steel. And I'm guessing Richie Albright was playing drums in the session. And the whole world disappeared because they did this panoramic where they just kind of went around. And Waylon and Jesse just looked at each other, and they never took their eyes off each other. And I loved it. So they didn't care what anything else was going on that day. They were with each other. And I think that's where that song came from. But I will tell you that the first two verses of that song took no time at all. The last verse was really difficult because there's a whole lot that rhymes with the word law. So I spent 6 months trying to come up with that last verse.
Oh, man. That's I just want to hear that song. That was a treat.
Yeah, it's you know, I think there's a love out there like that in country music still. I think we've got a few people out there. I think Brad Paisley and his movie star wife are crazy about each other. And oddly enough, I think Keith Urban and Nicole are a really cool couple, you know. I see them out and about now and then. And they've yet to invite me over for dinner, but, you know, they got Justin Timberlake now just around the corner. He literally lives like half a mile down the road, so we've gotten very popular in Nashville these days. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's probably a pretty popular place.
Yes.
I've heard of that too.
Yeah.
Can I do a love song?
You can do whatever you want.
All right. Well, I used to live in Hickman County. And Hickman County, Tennessee is about as country as it gets. They have great words there like M-O-A-N, you know, moan. Like,
Yeah,
moan, let's
moan.
go. Yeah.
Moan, let's go.
One of my favorite Hickman County words is fiddle. I need to go out trucks to see if it'll work. And my favorite Hickman County word, of course, is M-A-W-M-E-R-N-E-M. Those playing along at home, it's M-A-W-M-E-R-N-E-M. Mommernim, how's your Mommernim day? But when I was in Hickman County, a buddy of mine, C.J. Butts, that's his real name, he was a deputy, and I was intrigued with the law enforcement. Eventually got into it, but he would let me do ride-alongs. We pulled this old boy over on Missionary Ridge one night, and he must have hit both sides of the road ditches at least 3 times before we pulled him over. And he had this old banger-up truck. So CJ walked up to him, and the guy rolled down his window, and CJ said, "You got any ID?" And he said, "About what?" It's all an interpretation.
Yeah, that's country.
So this is a full contact Hickman County love song. Well, we fell in love. She moved in pretty soon. She quit her job and took up smoking those Pall Mall lights and drinking all the beer I bought. I caught her dipping out of my bank account. This winter bags got packed. Oh, and bless her heart, but even Walmart wouldn't take her back. Had an old weed eater, and man, I beat her for years till it wouldn't run. Had a busted shaft and it was leaking gas, but they gave me a full refund. This girl keeps calling and begging and calling and hoping I'm gonna crack. Oh, and bless her heart, but even Walmart wouldn't take her back. She never fed the dog whenever I was gone, and finally he ran off. She burned out the clutch in my pickup truck, and she was sleeping with my boss. And late at night when I walked in on them, all laid up in the sack. I got a broken heart, but even Walmart wouldn't take her back. Had a coffee pipe that my brother shot when he was sitting there cleaning his gun. When we took it in, they said, "Thank you, friend," and they gave us a full refund. This girl keeps calling and begging and bawling and thinking I'm gonna crack. Oh, and bless her heart, but even Walmart wouldn't take her back. Had a riding reel, Daddy bought a Sears, well, I think about 95. Gave it to the girl down in Wally World, and she didn't even bat an eye. This girl keeps calling and begging and bawling, hoping I'm gonna crack. Oh, and bless her heart, but even Walmart wouldn't take her back. I'd put her in the cart, but even Walmart wouldn't take her back.
That's a sad song.
Tragedy right there.
That's a tearjerker.
Worst kind.
The visuals there, shooting your coffee pot while you're cleaning your gun. It could happen.
I think, Jeff, that's happened to you.
Scares you, right? What inspired those lyrics?
I wrote that with Win Win wrote Waiting on a Woman, Have You Forgotten? Really wrote, I'm a little more country than that. But first song Win and I ever wrote was Another Tender Ode called Did I Take My Dip Out for This?
Oh, God. My dip out for this. Dip, yeah.
I got it.
I wrote this song riding shotgun in a rental car. My old guitar player was with me. We played Alpine, and we had a show in Dallas. And my booking agent was up in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and she said, "It didn't look that far on the map." So of course, there's no phone signal between Alpine and Monahans. There you go. And so we got to Monahans, Texas, and my Facebook lit up, and it said we lost my buddy Guy Clark. So I wanted to write something for Guy, but in more or less in a Guy Clark kind of feel and stuff. And I have a lot of regrets in my life, and not getting the cojones to ask Guy to write, because we'd get together all the time and hang out. I always wanted to say, "Hey man, you want to write one?" You know, but I just couldn't get the words come out of my mouth and stuff. It was usually like, "Am I buying the next round?" You know, something like that. But I wrote this on the drive between Monahans and Dallas. Got 4 hours sleep in an old truck stop outside of Monahans. West Texas wind was howling like a Gulf Coast hurricane. Got a show tonight in Dallas, probably make it there by noon. I'll play for tips, be lucky if I make a buck or two. So it ain't for the money, and it ain't for the fame. Got me chasing down this highway in this early morning rain. Oh, I'll keep going, knowing that it's no use, 'cause there ain't enough Texas to get me over you. There's a picture in my mind somewhere of the night that we first met. You were drinking Tanqueray and asked me for some Georgia. Then we fogged up those windows out behind the bar that night, thinking about how good it was. Just keeps messing up my mind. And it ain't for the money, and it ain't for the fame. Got me chasing down this highway in this early morning rain. No, I'll keep going, knowing that it's no use. There ain't enough Texas to get me over you. I could drive from Texarkana out to El Paso just to find that painted side. She ain't ready to let go. And it ain't for the money, and it ain't for the fame. Got me chasing down this highway clear across this Lone Star State. So I'll keep going, knowing that it's no use, 'cause there ain't enough Texas, and that's a whole lot of Texas. Yeah, there ain't enough Texas to get me over you. That's a good thing I'd ride a shotgun. Hard to hold that guitar and drive the car. It's been done though, I'll tell you that. I think Johnny Cash.
You know, Guy Clark, I think, holds a special spot in most everybody.
You bet.
We had so much fun. I mean, the first time I played Green Hall was a long time ago, and I couldn't wait to get back to Nashville and see Guy Clark and tell him I had played Green Hall. So we had a function, he and I were standing up in this upper balcony outside, and he was drinking a Crown and smoking a cigarette. And I said, "Hey man, how you doing?" He goes, "Hey Barney, good to see you." I said, "Man, guess where I played last week?" He said, "Where?" I said, "Green Hall." He said, "I hate that place." He said, "Sons of bitches won't shut up." And I said, "I didn't like it either." Yeah, he was the best. And I was so privileged to. The Bluebird Cafe back in the day was probably a lot like Green Hall and Luckenbach back in the day. The greatest would play and nobody would be there. It wasn't a tourist place, you know. And so I played a lot of shows with Steve Earle and John Prine. And John and I would take turns, Bill Lloyd from Foster and Lloyd. The three of us with Billy Prine and John Prine would play a lot. If Steve was conscious, he'd play. Kevin Welsh was a big part of the Bluebird back then. But we would see Guy Clark play all by himself to maybe 30 people. But those 30 people were pretty cool. It'd be like Jeff Hanna from the Dirt Band, Emmylou Harris, and Bonnie Raitt just sitting there, you know, salivating, you know.
Yeah.
The Bluebird was a really special place back then. So I'm blessed to have those memories and be around them. I had a guy from Texas want to know what qualified me to be a Texas artist. I said, well, I think bowling with Towns Van Zandt and Guy Clark qualifies a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm working on a song in my head called I Should Have Taken Pictures, because we didn't have cell phones back then that did that. So,
Right.
man, if I had those pictures today. So maybe we should write
You
that.
do.
Yeah.
There you go.
Bam.
Well, I'll play one more meaty song and we'll get sideways.
All right, sounds good. Ernie Nelson, y'all right here on TABC.
This one didn't make the record. It just came out like probably 2 weeks after the record went off to get pressed and stuff. The new CD, Whiskey and Water. And people ask me where it came from. I have no idea. I was driving into Nashville and I had my truck just rolling that way. And this song just came out. And I think sometimes you get the first words and then all of a sudden you can't stop it. So. But I believe that that if we're raised right, our faith will hold us through our entire lives. I really believe that. So I think if you're raised in a house that believes in Jesus, I think no matter what, that's going to stick around. So this song is about a girl that got really ticked off at God for a lot of really good reasons, but somehow she held on to her faith. Well, her blue eyes don't shine like they used to. I guess the whiskey and smokes took a toll. Ain't it amazing what a girl can get used to when she trades a crown for her soul? There was a time when she made church with Mama. In the choir they sang Amazing Grace. But it's been a long month of Sundays since that stained glass shone round her face. She still knows most of the words to Psalm 23, but she wonders if it means a damn thing. She still got her dashboard Jesus, and half a halo and one broken wing. She buried Mom next to Daddy and the child she brought into this world. You know, she turned her back on Jesus the day he took away her baby girl. But every Wednesday night she goes to meetings and stands up there and tells them her name and all the sins in her past. And if anyone asks, she just lies and says how much she's changed. But she still knows most of the words to Psalm 23, but wonders if it means a damn thing. She still got her dashboard Jesus and half a halo and one broken wing. Come on. She still knows most of the words to Psalm 23, but she wonders if it means a damn thing. She still got her dashboard Jesus, and half a halo and one broken wing. Yeah, she still got that dashboard Jesus, and half a halo and one broken wing.
Man.
That half a halo go a long way in heaven.
Well, that song, speaking of you got a book
Yeah.
called Honky Tonk Angels.
Yeah, the book has been just amazing. I'm shifting gears here and probably changing publishers real soon, but for a lot of good reasons. But the book has been a blessing. The book is based on faith. It talks about 40 of the biggest songs in country music and how they became to be what they are by, I believe, the grace of God and angels walking around Music Row. The stories are undeniable. The fact that it wasn't possible without God's grace to make some of these songs happen, and the way they happened, the crazy coincidences, people losing their entire careers as a songwriter, as an artist, getting divorced, and then all of a sudden becoming a hit songwriter. It's just amazing, the stories that came about, and all these stories were told to me firsthand, except for one, A House of Pooh Corner. And I got that from one of the guys in the Dirt Band, and then I backed it up with the publisher. But most of the stories, I was part of them. One of the stories, I lived in a house with a guy from Menard, Texas, Roger Brown. And Roger found out about a place up in Goodlettsville, Texas, or Tennessee, just up the road from Nashville, selling exotic boots for $100. And I didn't believe him, but we jumped in my Jeep and drove up there anyway. And we had the top off, and halfway up 65, he said, "Hey, you got $100?" And I said, "No." We went anyways. We got up there, and there were a pair of elephant skins in peanut butter color I really liked. I put them on, and I was trying to figure out, how I could persuade this kid selling boots if he'd hold my check for a few days. I was going to brag on him and tell him I had a Neil McCoy single or something, and see if that would work. And so I said, I just got to figure out how to get these boots. And the kid said, "Are you Bernie Nelson?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm Garth Brooks." And I said, "Hey, I know who you are." And he was working with a guy named Bob Doyle and a girl named Pam Lewis, and Bob was my ASCAP rep when I got to town. So we got the boots because Garth did hold a hot check for me, and I think he's still holding that check, as a matter of fact. But he came out to Douglas Corner Cafe and sat in with us one night. And to my far left was Kevin Welch. Kevin sang "Till I'm Too Old to Die Young." To my right was Garth, and we'd all gone around a couple times. But to my left was Tony Arata. And Tony said, "Well, here's a brand new song." And he played the dance for the first time.
Wow.
And Garth leaned in, he said, "Man, I'd love to cut that." And I thought, "Man, cowboy, you sell boots for a living. Dream on."
How about now?
Should have probably not rubbed it in his nose so much. Yeah, I always tell people, my friends became my heroes, my heroes became my friends. Kenny Chesney, he worked as a valet, and he actually parked my truck the night of the Conway record, celebrating the double platinum on that. And then we worked out together all the time. The kid named Billy Ray Cyrus, and Aaron Tippin and I worked out together.
Wow.
We had a lot of fun back then. Blake was part of a duo called Blake and Brian. They couldn't get arrested, and then all of a sudden I saw him on the radio singing some song about Austin. So you never know. The ones I always thought would be superstars weren't, but the ones that had the biggest faith in themselves just hung in there and got her done. So.
Right.
But the book is amazing. It's like I said, it's faith-based. You don't have to read about A Boy Named Sue, The House That Built Me, The Gambler, Lucille, any of those songs to enjoy the book. The book talks about my faith without really, being hard-headed about it and shoving it down your throat. But faith is the most powerful thing in the world. Jesus said several times in the Bible, if you believe, you can heal your son. The guy came to him and said, "My son's having convulsions," and the demon throws him into the fire, and he said, "Can you heal him?" And Jesus said, "Can you heal him? If you believe, you can heal him." So the same power that's in Jesus Christ is in all of us. The fact that he could turn water into wine was real simple. He believed that he could. The fact that he fed the multitudes and calmed the oceans was he knew he could do it without a shadow of a doubt. If I believe I can pick that can of Coca-Cola off that desk, I'll be able to pick it up because I believe I can, you know. And Jesus believed he could raise the dead. So life is a lot like that. I think when Solomon was asked, what do you want? He said, I want the gift of wisdom. And I believe the gift of wisdom was the gift of believing. Because if you believe, you can have anything you want. But the tip to that is, you can have anything you want. I'm preaching now. And I got a preacher in the room, so I better be good. But you can have anything you want. God wants you to have anything you want. And he will gladly give it to you. Once you accept that that is not the end-all, be-all. Once you accept that heaven is everything, he will give you whatever you want. You know, he won't hold back. If I ask him for a fish, he's not going to give me a taco.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so that's my preaching on the book, and it is out there at Amazon, Books a Million, Target, and of course you get an autographed copy at my place, BernieNelson.com. But I'm real proud of that book. So
Yeah, it's I'm looking forward to reading it.
we'll put it in the bathroom and just.
I will leave that one alone.
There you go.
Too long ago, I would have needed it.
Well, the beauty of Nashville, especially in the early '80s, was you could play a song at the Bluebird back then, Douglas Corner, and somebody tell somebody tell somebody, and it would be put on hold immediately in 5 different places. And this song was put on hold in a pitch meeting at the old EMI building. Randy Travis came in with Lib Hatcher, his then manager, now ex-wife. That's usually how it goes. And Martha Sharp from Warner Brothers Records. And they finally came out and said they weren't doing very well. Did I have anything to play for Randy? And I told them about this song. And they put it on hold. And it stayed on hold for about 6 months. And then Randy decided he wanted to make a record called Heroes and Friends. And it was going to be the biggest Randy Travis record of all time. B.B. King, Loretta Lynn, George Jones, all the big boys were going to be on this record. So they finally called me up one day and they said, Randy's going to cut your song today with Merle Haggard. So I thought that was pretty cool. He didn't cut it with Merle Haggard. Never happened. I was really upset, and I thought, well, you told me he was going to cut it with Merle Haggard. It didn't happen. But it got better. So like 2 weeks later, they called and said he was cutting with Conway Twitty. Randy Travis at Conway Twitty. He didn't cut it with Conway either. So it got down to the very last day of tracking, and they said he was going to cut it with Randy Travis and Clint Eastwood. Now, I love Clint Eastwood, I really do. I mean, but once you've seen Paint Your Wagon and heard him sing, and the other option was Randy Travis and Chris Christopherson. So this is on the Heroes and Friends record, Randy Travis and Chris Christopherson. There's doers and donors and I wills and wanters and them. Don't even try. Givers and takers and movers and shakers and them that are just passing by. Skid rows and winos and some folks that I know who don't do like I think they should. Thought they were living their lives all wrong long before I understood that we all have to walk our own road and can't always go where we're told. In the end, we'll all end up where we're supposed to go. But we all have to walk our own road. Well, I've had a good life and I've had some good times. I've had things going my way. And I've walked the high ground for treasures that I found people that brighten my day. And there were times when I was caught in the crosswinds of life, going around and around like a ship with no sail. Well, I was caught in that gale until I finally just ran it around. But we all have to walk our own road. We can't always go where we're told. In the end, we'll all end up where we're supposed to go. But we all have to walk our own road. Yeah, we all have to walk our own road. So I'm touring Texas. I got to go back to Tennessee. Actually, tomorrow afternoon I got to go see a dentist in Tennessee, and it's got to be addressed fairly soon. So I got to run back there tomorrow afternoon. But I'm going to make the best of it tomorrow and have a big fun Catholic church here in Fredericksburg.
There you go.
Oh, amen.
But I'll be back. We're lining up shows as quick as we can. I know I'll be back in November at some point. I've got to go. My mom lives up in Michigan, and she's stepped into a whole new world since Daddy's been gone. She's become like a new kid all over again, hanging sheetrock and traveling the world, whatever she wants to do. So she's still mad at me. I haven't really written a song for her yet. So. But I'll do Thanksgiving up there. There's actually a brand new restaurant outside of Detroit called the Concho Pearl, and it's attached to Concho Pearl in San Angelo, Texas. So I'll go up there and get a little taste of Texas in the Yankee world. So.
Yeah.
Motown.
But I love Texas, and I'm working real hard on making this home. So it feels like home. And when I can figure out a way to rearrange the furniture into a U-Haul, I'm good.
Well, we'd love to have you down here, that's for sure.
Well, everybody's been great. I mean, Miss Melissa got me up to play the other day, and
Always an open invite.
it
Always.
was incredible.
Such a-
Pastor Dan over here, and listening to his word last Sunday it got me all the way through the week, and I really needed it. Mike and Debbie, just great people. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Amen.
Anyway, I'm just tickled to be here. Can we do a couple more?
You betcha.
All right. This is on the new record, and it's probably my favorite song to play off the new record. But it's a little attitude, a little rowdy, but it's Pentecostal if y'all feel like it. Come I live my life somewhere between Jack and Jesus, between Folsom prison blues, and I saw the light. I know I'm washed in the blood, and I'm a believer. Nobody gets out of this crazy world alive, no, they don't. I hope there's a honky-tonk in heaven, and if there's a bar, I hope they've stocked it well. Well, I hope there's a honky-tonk in heaven, because when I get there, I'm gonna raise a little bit. That whistle blows, you know where I'll be going, back to where those neon angels know my name. If I die tonight, well, I know I'm forgiven. But hey, St. Peter, now if it's all the same, well, I hope there's a honky-tonk in heaven, and if there's a bar, I hope they've stocked her well. Well, I hope wailing. Buy him a drink and maybe one line. And I know dang well even Jesus likes a good time. 'Cause he's the one that turned that water into wine. Yes, he did. And I hope there's a honky tonk in heaven. And if there's a bar, I hope they stocked it well. Well, I hope there's a honky tonk. I get there, I'm gonna raise a little hell. Yeah, when I get there, I'm gonna raise a little hell. No one was hurting making that song.
He fits in our church.
Amen.
Anybody want a bear?
I got him right here.
Our pastor sometimes has been known to say, well, when we get done here, let's head on up to Hondo's and have something to eat, drink.
That's right.
Right.
Fellowship. It's fellowship.
That's right.
And I was telling him the other day about my doctor. I went to the doctor and I said, well, I quit drinking for like a month. He said, why? I said, I figured it's my people. He said, no, keep drinking.
Yeah.
You know, drink a couple drinks every day.
My ex-wife.
Wow.
And I said, really? And he said, I'm serious. He said, do not stop. He said, drink a couple drinks every night.
It's good.
It's good for you. I said, all right. And I went home and looked at Alicia. I said, cheers, I'm drinking. Doctor's orders.
Doctor's order.
Doctor's orders. Doctor said to.
My ex-wife and I, we were doing really well. I don't know why she was so worried about money, but she said, I was doing the budget. We spent over $300 a month on beer. And I said, that seems reasonable. And she said, we can't afford $300 a month on beer. And I said, well, you know, I'll tell you what, I'll take a couple months off from drinking and see if that makes a difference. So I didn't buy beer for a couple months, didn't buy anything for a couple months, just sober as a pastor.
You ain't talking about this one.
So,
Not guilty.
so one day we went down to Zavora, one of them places at the mall. She's buying her stash of makeup and stuff. And she pulled out that American Express, and it was $328. And I said, darling, $328 for makeup. She said, I buy the makeup so you'll think I look good. And I said, what do you think the beer was doing?
And a lot cheaper.
And that's when the fight started.
This was the ex.
How long y'all been separated now?
Couldn't take a joke. I truly did. I took 17 years off one time and just got out of the mood. And after Daddy passed away, I got back in the mood, and then I kind of tapered back off. And I was at a wedding for my niece, who Daddy he hung around long enough for her to get married. And they actually did the ceremony a little bit later on. We had a party after Daddy was gone. My nephew called me up at the bar. He said, Uncle Bernie, let's drink. And I said, okay, Willie. And we went to the bar. And he said, give us 3 shots of Jack and two Boilermakers apiece. I said, Willie, slow down there, buddy. I said, I ain't drank in 17 years. He said, what? I said, no, I haven't had a drink in 17 years. And he said, Uncle Bernie, that's 17 years you can't get back.
Smart kid.
Lost time.
I did this song at the Cowboy Church the other day. I just love it. I didn't write it, but I just love knowing that we all need a little help. I love my friends at Fredericksburg.
Fredericksburg,
Church.
Texas.
Yeah.
Texas.
I was young, so much younger than today. Never needed anybody's help in any way. And now those days are gone and I'm not so self-assured. Now I finally changed my mind and I've opened up the door. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please help me? Now my life has changed in oh so many ways. My independence seemed to vanish in the haze. Every now and then, you know, I feel so insecure. Now I finally changed my mind and I've opened up that door. And help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. And help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please help me? Come on. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please help me? When I was younger, so much younger than today, never needed anybody's help in any way. From the book of Paul and John.
That's it.
I'm gonna do one more if you don't mind.
Play all day.
We're still hungry for it.
Good.
I'm not going anywhere.
Well, this is probably, if people ask me what's my proudest moment, I wrote a song with Jimmy Fadden from the Dirt Band. I called him up with the idea. He said, Barney, we're breaking up. Even if we cut it, it wouldn't matter. We're not going to go back in the studio. The band's breaking up. So we wrote this song. And there was a riff between Jimmy Ibbotson and Jeff Hanna. There was always a riff there. They loved each other, but it was one, I'm the lead singer, that sort of thing. At least that's my take on it. So we wrote the song, and then a buddy of mine, Chuck Howard, decided to go and cut a few tracks on. They decided to make a record after all. And I think it was their last record on MCA Records. But the song was called The Dream, and it was about getting to live your dream and why you don't quit doing what you're doing, because you're still living your dream. You might not be able to compete in cutting or roping anymore, but you still like to ride horses, you still like to throw a rope. You may not be in the majors anymore, but you're still playing baseball down in the minors. And the last verse is about the Dirt Band and why are we still doing this? We don't need the money, we don't need the fame. And end up cutting it, and then about 6 months later they were in Deer Lodge, Albertson, Alberta, and they played it as their closing song for the night, a cappella, just squeeze box, mandolin, and harmonica on Jimmy Fadden, and they started doing it on all their shows. And then they were doing a taping one night in Nashville now, and Rodney Crowell was hosting the show. And Rodney said, "Well, I've heard some rumors you guys are going to break up." And Jeff Hanna said, "Well, we were going to break up, but we got this song that Jimmy Fadden and Bernie Nelson wrote, and we started closing the show with it, and it reminded us of how much we love that rootsy kind of sound. So we put it back in the show." And that was 17 years before their 50th anniversary, which they just celebrated last year.
Wow.
So that kept them together, and it was really cool. Rodney Crowell called me out and introduced me to everybody. Crowning moments, getting a Conway Twitty cut, that was amazing. Getting a Chris Ledoux cut that was pitched by my buddy Garth Brooks, pitched it to him. You know, just magical moments in my life, things that matter. But this song is probably the song that I've had a hand in that touched more people than any other song. I think that it'll touch people long after they decide to spread my ashes around Fredericksburg, Texas. So. But I love this song. We were poor when I was a youngin'. Don't remember ever going hungry. Daddy made sure we didn't do that. Went to school with some of these fellas that had money and I was jealous and I didn't know them, but I know now. Daddy said you can't judge a book by looking at the cover. It's what's inside that really matters. Daddy never was a Cadillac kind. Said some things just glitter and shine, and taught us that love was the one thing money couldn't buy. Daddy never was a Cadillac kind. Left home right out of high school, got me a big car and thought I was real cool, cruising around the neighborhood. See Daddy after church on Sundays, say you have to go riding with me someday. He just said no, never understood. And he asked me how I bought it, I told him on credit, and Daddy just smiled. I'll never forget, 'cause Daddy never was a Cadillac kind. Said some things just glitter and shine, and taught us that love was the one thing money couldn't buy. And Daddy never was a Cadillac kind. It took a while, but now I'm grown and settled down. The kids are my own, and the more I give them, you know, the more they want. Daddy left us last November. Don't remember him ever looking better, all laid out in his Sunday best. Sure, instead of all that attention, all he'd have wanted was a few words mentioned. A simple man simply laid to rest. As they drove him away in that big Cadillac with a tear in my eye, I had to laugh. 'Cause my daddy never was a Cadillac kind. He said some things that just glitter and shine, but just that one time. I hope Daddy enjoyed that ride. Daddy never was a Cadillac kind. My daddy never was a Cadillac kind.
Oh,
Who recorded
man.
that? Who recorded
You might
that?
mention ain't a dry eye in the house.
I knew it.
Oh, man, if they don't bring a tear to your eye,
Yeah, that was good.
That was wonderful. And that's your,
The mailbox money still keeps coming. I got a smaller mailbox to make the checks look bigger.
that's all that matters.
All perception.
Perception is reality.
It is. I was telling you about my buddy CJ, and we're still close. We still hang around. He called me the other night. He said, Barney, he said, I got called at domestic out there on Piney Ridge Road. He said, I got there, this woman shot her husband dead. I said, really? He said, yeah. She said, I said, what for? She said, she was mopping the floor, and he walked on the floor, it was still wet. She shot him dead. I said, did you arrest her? He said, no. I said, why? He goes, well, the floor is still wet. Home perception.
I read your about you and all that stuff. It didn't say anything about the stand-up comedy.
Oh, yeah. You know, Colin Ray's one of my buddies, and he was at the Bluebird one night, and he sat in back of me, and of course we got him up to play and stuff. We got through, and Colin came up, and he goes, Barney, good Lord, you're talented. I said, well, thanks, man. He goes, will you come out and open up for me on the road? I said, yeah. I said, how many songs do you want me to sing? He goes, well, don't bother singing, just tell your jokes. Yeah, that was a big one.
Oh, you want to play some more? What do you want to do?
Want
Want to tell us more stories or some more jokes?
I'll tell you that. I'm real proud of the new CD. It's called Whiskey and Water.
Yeah.
Let me play that. The title, Cut Whiskey and Waters, is real important to me. I believe that you can drink and be a sinner and still make your way to heaven.
Yep.
Amen.
Is that right for you, Dan?
Amen. Not about us. Not him.
Hope so, right, Dan?
There's nothing left for all those see each other somewhere else.
I drank for that.
That's what he did, that's what we do.
Well, I got a friend who's a preacher. He knows most of my sins. But he don't criticize me or say I'm damned in the end. He tells me next Sunday they're having baptism. If I'll go down in that water, they'll all be forgiven. But my old friend Jack Daniels won't leave me alone. So I'm here, standing at this crossroad. One can lead you to hell, the other straight to the Father. And I'm somewhere between whiskey and water. Well, I danced with the devil, laid down with some angels, and both of them found me when I wasn't able. Water can wash clean the sins of a man. Whiskey's the gateway to the unpromised land. But my old friend Jack Daniels won't leave me alone. And I'm here, standing at this crossroad. One can lead you to hell, the other straight to the Father. And I'm somewhere between whiskey and water. We come into this life kicking and screaming and searching for light and battling demons. So it's warm amber whiskey or cold muddy water. One way or the other, I know I'm going under. And my old friend Jack Daniels won't leave me alone. So I'm here, standing at this crossroad. One can lead you to hell, the other straight to the Father. And I'm somewhere between whiskey and water. And I'm somewhere between whiskey and water.
Yeah.
I gotta do a song for Michael W. Bucket and Curtis and stuff. I just love love. Love will show up at the damnedest time, I'll tell you what.
Amen.
I have always wanted to see Paris in the fall, take a walk along the River Seine, spend a lazy afternoon down in New Orleans, catching catfish on the Pontchartrain. Guess I could have made the time. Looking back, I realized that I'm thankful for the things I didn't do. 'Cause now I know I was saving that for you. And I have never floated in a big hot air balloon outside of Jackson Hole. There it is. Ridden in a rocket ship headed to the moon. But if I could, I know I'd like to go. So many things I haven't seen, Maybe it's just destiny, but I'm thankful for the things I didn't do. Now I know I was saving that for you. I was saving, hey, good morning sunshine, pillow talks and walks out in the rain, 1,000 nights sitting around counting shooting stars, and without you it wouldn't be the same. And I have never been the kind to let my feelings show, never really gave my heart away. And I have never looked into the eyes of anyone and swore I'd love them till my dying day. So many things I could have done, but I was waiting for the one that would help me make all those dreams come true. Now I know I was saving that for you. Now I know, baby, I was saving that for you.
Hey, guys. Sir, that was
Daddy, another Bob.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Well, you know, every once in a while you get lucky to write one of those.
Now, you're gifted, brother.
Well, thank
You
you.
were gifted.
I'm getting the hang of it, I tell you.
Oh.
So you got a good start.
Yeah, I got a good start on it, so I can dog her in for the next 40 years. Daddy told me one time, I was working out, I was bodybuilding back then, and Daddy said, I think I look pretty good for middle age. I said, people don't live to be 137, Dad. Middle age my butt.
Those calculator on.
I told this the other day, I forget where, but Daddy used to drive 18-hour, 16-hour days, driving a semi-truck and hauling petroleum fuel all over Michigan in cold weather, bad weather. And he came in one day, and it was Wednesday, and he already had 60 hours in it. And he said, what'd you do today? And I said, well, Daddy, I wrote a song today. I said, not today, not this month, not even this year, but 5 years from now, it's going to make me $250,000. And for a second, I think I had him. He said, you didn't do squat today, did you?
They can read you like a book.
Let's do this, we'll take her to the barn. What do you say? And you got to help me. I told this story the other night at the Western Ed. I was in a little bar outside of Burr, Ireland, called the Last Chance Saloon. We were working on our 242nd One More Song. And I was working on my 27th Guinness, and this thing called Irish Mist. It was amazing. I highly recommend it. But I'd already put the PA away. They kept dragging my guitar back out, and they sang this incredible ode called All Triangle, which was a song I grew up with my grandfather. But it was time to go home for crying out loud. It was 4:30 in the morning, and the bar was still packed. It was amazing. So without a PA or anything, I sat down, and I've got the recording. You have to hear it. They are all a whole measure and a half behind me, of course. And it's like staggered, you know.
Like an echo chamber.
You do that reverb with
And I used to date this girl in Nashville, Mickey Foster. She's country music royalty. She was married to Taz DiGregorio, that was Charlie Daniels' drummer. Her dad, he co-wrote this song. He did a lot of great things. He's in the Hall of Fame. Fred Foster co-wrote this with a guy named Chris Christopherson. Busted flat in Baton Rouge, headed for a train, feeling nearly faded as my jeans. Bobby thumbed the diesel down just before it rained, rode us all the way to New Orleans. And I pulled my old heart out of my dirty red bandana. I was blowing sad while Bobby sang the blues. Windshield wipers slapped in time and Bobby clapped hands till we finally sang every song that the driver named. Come on. Freedom, just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing ain't worth nothing but a truth. Feeling good was easy, Lord, when Bobby sang the blues. Feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me and Bobby McGee. From the coal mines of Kentucky to the California sun, Bobby shared the secrets of my soul. Standing right beside me, Lord, through everything we'd done. Bobby, Lord, she kept me from the cold. One night near Salinas, Lord, I heard her slip away, looking for that home I hope she finds. But I traded all my tomorrows for one single yesterday, just to hold that woman's body close to mine. Freedom, just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing ain't worth nothing, but it's free. Feeling good was easy, Lord, when Bobby sang the blues. Feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me and Bobby McGee. Melissa, get over here.
Get close.
Na-na-na-na, 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 me and Bobby McGee. Na-na-na-na, na-na-na-na, me and Bobby McGee. Na-na-na-na, 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 me and Bobby McGee. Na-na-na-na, 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 me and Bobby McGee.
Bernie Nelson people. Wow. Wow.
I get to drink it.
Yeah.
Well, buddy, thanks for having me, Jeff. What a great
That was
time.
fantastic, man.
Please send people to BernieNelson.com. I've got CDs, I've got the book. It's not a cookbook, I'm working on
Yeah,
that.
tell them about the
50
CD.
ways to walk your dog.
Give it a